Darfur, or Land of the Four, comprises the westernmost area in the Sudan. Dominated by the majestic volcanic peaks of the Jebel Mara mountain range, the region's riches lie in its livestock and natural resources. With time and development, it has the potential to become one of the most agriculturally profitable areas in the country. Its diverse geography is matched by the diversity of its people. Darfur has long been a land rife with conflict, misunderstanding and insecurity. Underlying factors of the conflict in Darfur are complex. Tensions that simmered in the 1990s exploded in 2003 as self-defense groups militarized into armed resistance. This initiated a significant conflict that would ravage Darfur over the next 3 years, resulting in the internal displacement of an estimated 1.7 million people, as well as a flood of 280,000 refugees into neighbouring Chad. The conflict damaged and destroyed infrastructure, disrupted services, markets and livelihoods, impacting the lives of millions. This insecurity has hampered investment in human resources and physical infrastructure, thereby stifling recovery and development to the region. The many circumstances contributing to the conflict shaped an intricate peace process, which began in N'Djamena in 2003, continued in Abuja in 2006, in Sirte in 2007, and culminated in Doha in 2009. The second peace agreement was the fruit of months of intensive negotiations between rebel groups and the Government of Sudan, resulting in the signing of the Doha Document for Peace in Darfur, or DDPD, in Qatar in July 2011. While it is primarily an agreement between the Liberation and Justice Movement and the government, signatories have continued to call upon other actors and movements to sign the agreement. One of the key results of the DDPD was the establishment of the Darfur Regional Authority. The DRA, as it is known, has been entrusted to play the central role in implementing, coordinating and promoting post-conflict reconstruction and development projects in the region.
The people of Darfur have participated and contributed in the peace process in Doha, and the DRA has been keen to bring on board the various stakeholders, whether these are refugees, IDPs, civil society, native administration. They are supporting the DRA's efforts, and therefore we believe that this is about the right time for us to move from humanitarian support to recovery.
Another key tenet of the DDPD was the Darfur Joint Assessment Mission, or DJAM. Commencing in August 2012, consultative workshops were held with hundreds of Darfuri community leaders and representatives from all facets of life, from nearly every locality in each of the 5 Darfur states. A special meeting with representatives of thousands of refugees in Abesha, Chad, was completed in December to ensure that the specific requirements of refugees would also be assessed. The question asked by each of the 10 sectoral groups was simple. What do the people of Darfur need to get the region back on its feet?
The most important thing in this process was the confidence building. By addressing this issue of development and addressing the issue of security, we will start dealing with the root causes of the problems in Darfur, and this will for sure change the whole context from conflict, war, to peace, security and development.
A fully integrated Darfur Development Strategy has subsequently been developed under 3 interconnected pillars of governance, reconstruction and economic recovery. The strategy outlines the responses required over the next 6 years and identifies activities that form the foundation of the recovery effort, providing immediate peace dividends and setting the stage for the strategy to take root. These pillars must be addressed simultaneously in order to ensure the success of the strategy in bringing about sustainable development to the region.
I'm optimistic because the DDPD is beginning to bring security and also some dividends of peace on the ground. I am expecting that the ongoing process in Doha will conclude with a more comprehensive agreement which will include all the parties. I'm sure that with the support of the international community, and also the government willingness to negotiate with the parties. Our mediation effort will bring us to a more comprehensive agreement, because the war is not an alternative to the conflict in Darfur.
The first pillar represents governance, justice, and reconciliation. This involves improving governance at all levels, enhancing rule of law, establishing a culture of transparency and accountability, and settling issues of land and compensation for returnees. The second pillar is reconstruction, which embraces the reintegration of displaced persons, ensures access to basic social services, the construction and maintenance of state buildings, markets and IDP return housing, and the development of regional infrastructure. Finally, the third pillar addresses economic recovery, encompassing the improvement of agricultural and livestock productivity, the management of natural resources, and the development of the private sector and urban employment opportunities, all vital for livelihood recovery and the generation of revenue essential for the implementation and maintenance of the previous two pillars. Darfur's recovery will not be without challenges. Poverty levels are among the highest in the country, with nearly 2/3 of the population falling below the poverty line. Human development indicators are among the worst in Africa, and delivery of essential health, education, and water services are severely constrained by the limited resources available to the region. Residual conflict gives continued credence to claims of marginalization and distrust. Development spending within Darfur, where nearly 20% of Sudan's population lives, is less than half of other states in the country, exacerbating an already difficult task. The conditions on the ground are difficult, but the very real needs of the people of Darfur that have been articulated during the DJAM remain paramount. There will never likely be a time when an ideal set of conditions for recovery are apparent in Darfur. However, the momentum gathered by the DDPD should not be allowed to wane. The last 10 years of conflict may have left the region ravaged, but the active engagement of the Darfuri people during the consultation reveals their hope and trust in the future. Despite the continued security breaches, they insisted they are ready to move forward, away from the humanitarian crisis that has blighted their lives, towards a new era of peace, development, and security for all Darfur. They rely on the continued, generous international assistance to realize this dream.
If people in Darfur are not given a hope for tomorrow, a likelihood is that they're going to lose all faith in the international community. And this business of the hand-to-mouth, constant international aid pouring into Darfur needs to lend itself, and quite soon, to productive projects, sustainable ones, enabling the people of Darfur to run them and to generate out of them employment opportunities and a livelihood that is sustainable for them. It's an important conference for the people of Darfur. It's an important conference for the future of Darfur.
إن الإنعاش والتنمية عاملان أساسيان للسلام في دارفور. فبعد إقرار وثيقة الدوحة للسلام في دارفور خلال مؤتمر أصحاب المصلحة في الدوحة، والذي شارك فيه ممثلون عن النازحون واللاجئون، بدأ إخواننا وأهلنا من النازحين واللاجئين بالعودة الطوعية إلى قراهم وأماكنهم أسرع مما كنا نتوقع. وإنما دارفور تحتاج إلى تنمية، وهو التحرك على المدى الطويل. فدارفور قد عانت كثيرا من حروب متعاقبة خلال 10 سنوات، عانى أهل دارفور خلالها الكثير، وجاء الوقت لينعموا بسلام وأمن واطمئنان وحياة كريمة. نريد حركة اقتصادية لدارفور تقوم على الاعتماد على النفس من خلال مشاريع يشترك فيها أهل دارفور، يستطيعون من خلالها أن يعيشوا حياة كريمة، لا يعتمدون فقط على المساعدات لحياتهم.